Hey everyone, week 8 is over. The Eagles played the Bengals, and I'm excited to be back and to talk to y'all about the game and our Eagles team. Also, I'm really excited to talk about a new wine that I've tried this week. It is a rosé. Can't wait to check it out with you guys, but keep listening. You are now checking out Fourth and Wine. All right, y'all. So this week, like I said, will be a rosé wine. Rosé. Anyway, why would I do that? Anyway, this wine is from the Lake Erie region, which I Googled and learned a little bit about. It is the second largest grape growing region in the United States. And from wine class, the Northeast is a really good region to grow grapes. So it is especially good for growing grapes due to the moderate climate, which extends the growing season for grapes, allowing them to ripen. The Northeast region also has really good soil, and the cooler climates and extended season allow for the grapes to have a bit more acidity and tannins, which are the skins of the grapes, which allow it to develop a little bit of flavor. So that's really exciting. But this week we are going to be trying out a Mural City Rosé. I am not being paid. I'm not in sponsorship with Mural City. So I don't want anyone to assume that I'm in sponsorship with any of the wines that I try. I just try these at my leisure. I'm not a sommelier. I just enjoy wine and enjoy learning more about it and sharing things with you, because wine can be intimidating, and I kind of want to just make it easier for everyone. It doesn't have to be intimidating. Me coming in, knowing very little, but enjoying lots of different wine. Just wanted to share my perspective and point of view. So anyway, back to the Mural City Rosé. The Mural City Rosé has an alcohol content of 12%. This bottle is priced at $20. And the bottle, it is very cute. Clear bottle. You can see the wine through the bottle. It has a black cap. The label is so cute. It is pink and a shade of orange. I'd probably call it a mango margarita orange. It says Mural City Rosé on it in black lettering. And then there's an old door that's pictured on the front of the bottle that looks like a door from back in the day, a very old home, urban home. And it has a transom window above the door and a door light window in the shape of a heart in the middle. It's just very old school. It reminds me of like my grandmother's house or my neighbor's house, like growing up. Very simple bottle. The wine bottle also says that Mural City Cellars donates $1 from every bottle sold to local neighborhood initiatives that help build and beautify Philadelphia. And I think that is amazing. A new business starting an urban community that wants to give back to the city it inhabits. I think you have to love that. They support local businesses, local shops, and their own community. Like, you have to support something like this. I think it is amazing. But let's get into the wine a little bit. So let's first look at it. Now, looking at it, it is pretty still. There's a few bubbles, but not many. It is an amber color. It's not overly bubbly like their sparkling rosé, which is also very good. This rosé can be had casually. You could just chill, sip, watch the Eagles game and sip, watch TV. It pairs really well with fried chicken, salads with a little vinaigrette. They contrast each other very well. But if you were intimidated and didn't know what to have with this wine, it says it on the back. It says that it pairs well with hoagies, grilled meats, and veggies. So, grab a hoagie, grab some wine, watch the game, and chill. So let's taste it. Actually, let's smell it. So it smells very fruity. Smells like pears. Smells like berries, like strawberries. Now let's taste it. Y'all, I might be biased, but I'm going to say 5 out of 5. I love this wine. And I'm not a huge rosé girl, but this is delicious. The back of my mouth is watering while I drink it, even after. Like, the back of my mouth is still watering from drinking this wine. And also, I just love what the winery is doing. Again, I'm not being sponsored by them. I'm just very excited to share. If you don't know about this place, you should go and check it out. And I love how they include everyone. They have classes that you can attend to just learn more and immerse yourself in wine. So it's just not so intimidating. I love this city so much. I love Philly, like born and raised. I'm from South Philly. I will love this city forever. And it's nice to see a company and a group and a person put so much thought into their winery, how they support the community, and giving back to that community in which they are in and a part of. I think it's amazing. So if you're ever in Fishtown, I think you should really go and check it out. It's called Mural City Cellars. It's a really cool winery on Frankfort Avenue, and you should get the Mural City Rosé because it is delicious. But now let's get into the recap of the game. So the Eagles played the Bengals at 1 o'clock. They flexed the game from 4:25 till 1 o'clock because they said, don't nobody want to watch the Eagles and the Bengals, I guess. But Eagles-Bengals Sunday 1 o'clock game in Cincinnati. The score was 37-17 Eagles. So shout out to us getting the win. I wasn't very confident going into this season playing the Bengals, and I wasn't very confident going into Sunday playing the Bengals with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. That team is amazing. T. Higgins was out on Sunday, which I think worked in our favor, but I do hope he gets well. Anyway, player of the game was definitely Jalen Hurts. He played amazing. So Jalen Hurts had an outstanding game, a completion rate of 80%. He had 236 passing yards, 1 touchdown, zero interceptions, and he had a QBR of 95.6. But a little bit for the offensive stats. Let's start with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley on Sunday had 108 yards rushing, 22 attempts. Great game. Some explosive plays from Saquon Barkley. A.J. Brown has 6 targets for 84 yards. But let's really get into the big play of the game. Devontae Smith. He had a big play on 2 and 8, a 45-yard touchdown. These are the type of plays that I want to see them use Devontae in. So these are the type of plays that I think Devontae can make and that I'm confident him and Jalen Hurts can connect on. Now, the screens that I saw them use him in, where we give him a short pass and multiple defenders, it's a no for me. He's not going to gain the extra yardage because he's not a big guy like AJ. I feel like those plays are made more for your guys like AJ Brown. Devontae Smith, he's shifty, he's fast, and he's going to catch it, and he's going to toe tap it in there. I love that play. The Eagles set that up for him. So now heading into this game, I said that Devontae would need to get more involved. And you know what they did? They got Devontae more involved. Now, offensively, we went 6 for 11 on third downs, which I thought was pretty solid. Jalen had an excellent completion percentage. And you know what else? He had 0 turnovers, goose egg of turnovers. So great job at protecting the ball. Coach Sirianni said that the Eagles would be working on protecting the ball during the bye week. And coming out of the bye, you know what the Eagles have had? 0 turnovers over the last 3 games. Now that is how you come out here and win games. You cannot win games turning the ball over like we were the first part of the season before the bye. So I'm really excited to see the direction that this offense is going, and I'm liking to watch them get into a groove. So during much of the game, I noticed that Burrow had a ton of short passes. My man wasn't throwing nothing over 10 yards. He wasn't doing too many deep balls. He had a 70.3% completion rate with an average per pass average of 6.3 yards, so under 10 yards. Burrow was eating us alive in the beginning of the game. He was utilizing his team too. Since T. Higgins was out, he had to improvise. They had to get other players more involved. When T. Higgins is not playing, the Bengals, though, they do have a losing record. They are 4-7 when T. Higgins is not in the game. So coming in, I was very excited. Not excited. That sounds horrible. But I felt like this could give the Eagles a confidence boost. And I felt that it gave us more of an edge to win the game once he wasn't active for Sunday's game. His absence meant something, but it still didn't stop Joe Burrow from throwing for 234 passing yards. Defense could not get a stop on third down on Sunday. Burrow went 7 for 7 on his first few plays. They gave up 10 out of 13 third downs. Insane. And the Bengals ate the clock up a lot during the first quarter, especially. They gave the Eagles 5 minutes or less to actually score, and we didn't. We did not make anything shake in the first quarter. So we are still the only team in the NFL to have scored 0 points in the first quarter. Now, let me say that this is concerning, and I'm going to tell you why. The first few plays of the game are scripted. These are the plays that you practice. These are the ones that you should execute well. These are the muscle memory plays, in my opinion, and you haven't scored on any of your first quarter drives. It's concerning. Another concerning point for me was watching Nolan Smith cover Jamar Chase, one that is disrespectful to Jamar Chase, who scored a touchdown on Nolan Smith during the first drive. Now, while it seems like I'm being really hard on the defense, I'm going to say this. Now, while the defense did all of those things and definitely made me nervous, they still only held the Bengals to 17 points, which was amazing. And I will say this. Coach Vic Fangio made adjustments. So cool. We gave up some yards. Cool. We got burnt on this play. But he switched it up. And it was good to see our defensive guys get in a rhythm, have fun. Cooper DeJean and BG, Brandon Graham, had huge stops on fourth down that changed the trajectory of the game. It gave our team much needed momentum. CJ with a much needed interception. Isaiah Rodgers with the assist on that interception. That's just pure football IQ. Isaiah Rodgers stepped in and stepped up. I said, with Darius Slay having that week-to-week knee injury, Isaiah Rodgers would be coming in this game at some point, and he would have to step up. And my guy has a high football IQ. I feel like he thinks a lot more than maybe some of us are used to. But he showed up, and he got CJ an interception on Sunday. Now, if you watch my For the Birds quick slants, you know that I was not confident in this defense at all because it's so inconsistent. But they put in work and they showed up today. It was good to see them having fun. And it was good to see them making plays and making tackles, even Slay with his knee injury, who is now currently out, I believe, due to a groin injury. But it was enjoyable to watch them put forth their best effort. And I think the Eagles have really got one when it comes to Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Howie, you did your thing, brother. You did your thing. Now, the question of the show is Jalen Hurts back? Is Jalen Hurts the Eagles QB? Now, I don't think Jalen Hurts makes all of the best decisions in all cases, but I will say that he is playing well enough right now over these last few weeks. Granted, we've played the Browns, the Giants, and surprisingly the Bengals, who haven't been that good, but he's been playing good enough, I believe, to get us where we want to be. Is it good enough to beat guys like Patrick Mahomes? I don't know. I think Jalen in this offense with these guys, with the playing style that they have going right now, with the comfortability that I've seen from him, his pocket presence over the last 3 weeks, I would say that he can get us there. And he has that potential. Now, the conversation, if he is the QB for the Eagles, football is a team sport. You need everything to align when you get to the Super Bowl. And I think that this team is assembled to be that. Now, can Jalen do it all on his own? No, I don't think so. Do I think Jalen can do it with some no-name receivers, a crappy offensive line, an unhealthy defense? No, I do not. I don't think he's at the caliber of like Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. I don't think he's those guys, but I think he is good enough with the team that surrounds him to get us there. And let's be real, though. And I'm not making excuses for Jalen, but let's be real about his situation. For real. Let's really talk about his situation. We are very hard on Jalen, and I think that's just the expectations that we have as Philadelphia fans, because I'm hard on Jalen. I think he found some of his receivers pretty slowly. I think he holds onto the ball sometimes way too long. But realistically, Jalen Hurts is on his third offensive coordinator in the last 3 years. He's only been the Eagles' solidified QB for the last 4. Because then we had that whole debacle with Carson Wentz, a.k.a. Ben Simmons. There has been a lot of inconsistency with this coaching staff over the last 3 years. In 2021, we had Shane Steichen. His first year with him, he went to the playoffs, but we all agreed it wasn't the best of Jalen. 2022, Shane and Jalen again made their run, went to the Super Bowl. Now Shane gets hired as a head coach for the Colts. Cool. Congratulations. 2023, we have Brian Johnson, new coordinator, new things to learn, new vibe, and it didn't work out. And that supposedly was due to some of Nick Sirianni's involvement. And now 2024, here we are again with Kellen Moore. Again, a new coordinator, a new offense to learn, a new play style to understand, a new person to click and mesh with. I think that the coaching staff has been an adjustment for him. And even with Shane, I feel like his first year, he struggled a little bit. And then he came out and blew him out the gate, and we went to the Super Bowl. I think we just have to learn to give some of these things time. And because we have such high expectations of Jalen and this team, and we definitely have like the win now mentality. If you don't make it now, you're never getting there. I think that puts a lot of pressure on him. And I also think it might be somewhat unfair. I'm guilty of doing it myself. Now, people be like, oh, well, we're paying Jalen Hurts a lot of money or whatever. Folks assuming all that and saying all that. It's just like, we're not paying him a lot of money. We are paying him the industry standard of what quarterbacks get paid nowadays. Quarterbacks getting paid $50 million a year. That's normal. Blame Deshaun Watson. But that's the salary at this point. That is the going rate for a quarterback these days. And he's not taking up that much cap space at the moment. The way Howie set up his deal, it's spread out. So do I think he's the guy? I think he's the guy right now. And I think he has potential to be the guy as long as Howie continues to build the team around him. And I think next year for sure, if I don't see something out of Jalen, maybe we move on. But I think Jalen is the guy right now. I think he can be great, but he can't do it alone. Jalen isn't the quarterback that everyone wants him to be, where he does it alone. I don't care, whereas you don't care who the coach is, you don't care what players or what weapons he has around him. No, Jalen needs things to align like many quarterbacks do. It's 32 teams. The only team I can think of on the top of my head that can get it done without having all the pieces and all the stars aligned is Patrick Mahomes. He is an anomaly. I think Jalen is a good QB. Fans want him to be Tom Brady. They want him to be the 1984 Dolphins Dan Marino. He's not that. And I've decided today to let that expectation go. 2022 was a great season, but the Eagles were also very healthy in 2022. Already this season, we've had Lane Johnson out. Jordan Mailata is out. A.J. Brown was out 3 games. Devontae Smith was out due to a concussion. Darius Slay is banged up. Mekhi Becton is out. His O-line is banged up. The unhealthy bug, the injury bug hit us early this year. So it kind of worked out that we had the early bye so the guys could get a little bit of rest. But that's my thoughts on Jalen Hurts. I'm sticking to it right now. If you want to argue back and forth with me, let's do it. Anyway, then the next question I want to bring up on this show is, will the Eagles make the playoffs? Now, we are halfway through the season. Week 8 is gone. And we still got a few games to play. The Eagles still have to play the Ravens, the Rams, and in our division, in the NFC East, we still haven't played the Cowboys or the Commanders. The Cowboys are not playing well. And I am hoping they continue to not play well for our sake. But they always bring their A game with us, especially when they're playing at home. We always split with the Cowboys. We win one, they win one. So I do still think we'll get one loss from the Cowboys. And then surprisingly, with a rookie QB, the Commanders are on a roll. Now, where we normally think we got 2 easy wins with the Commanders and 2 easy wins with the Giants, the Commanders might put up, a tough time. TBD, to be determined. But the Commanders right now are looking like they might win the NFC East division. Jaden Daniels has been playing well. They have a new coach, Dan Quinn, who is a defensive mind. And in their last game against the Chicago Bears, if y'all didn't see yesterday's game, you missed one heck of a game. But they held the Chicago Bears to 0 points in the first half. So that's saying something for their defense. Now, what I will say also is that the Commanders don't have a strong schedule. Like, they're not playing anyone too difficult. They've played the Panthers. They've played the Browns, the Bengals, the Cardinals. They played the Bucks and lost like we did. They've played the Giants. But remaining for the season, they pretty much have us to play twice. They have the Cowboys still to play twice. They play the Giants again. the Steelers, which is iffy. That whole QB situation, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, that's TBD as well. The Steelers, are they a real team? That defense is crazy, but are they a real team offensively? They play the Falcons, they play the Titans and the Saints. Like, their schedule is pretty sweet. So I can see the Commanders pulling out a few more wins. The only way I see the Commanders losing this division is if they begin to collapse. They have an easy schedule, a much easier schedule than we do. Even before the season, before we knew who would be playing like what, I think the Commanders just have an easier schedule. So will the Eagles win the NFC East? Flat out, I'm unsure. Now I'm unsure. Coming into the season, I would have told you, yeah, I ain't worried about it. Boom. But Jaden Daniels, he has had a 75.6% completion rate so far this season. 6 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. And he's thrown for over 1,400 yards. He has been playing very well against some poor teams, but very well. The Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys have not been playing well at all. Dak with his interceptions. They're just unable to get anything going on offense. Micah Parsons is out. They argue amongst themselves. There's drama internally. Jerry Jones is on everybody's radio station and all across my Sports Center ESPN feeds just talking. But we've just got to continue to play and play consistent. Our defense has got to continue to click like we have been the last 3 games, how they've been playing lights out the last 3 games. And the offense has got to continue with this momentum where Jalen is comfortable, where Jalen's playing under center, which is good for the run game. The Eagles have finally decided on their identity. Your identity is running the ball. When you have a guy like Saquon Barkley and you have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts who can move, your identity is running the ball. I don't care what the NFL tells you should be doing, what explosive plays you should be making. Your identity is to run this ball. Now with Ben Van Sumeren playing fullback, I'm enjoying seeing Jalen Hurts under center. And they're leaning more into this style of play. I'm not saying they need to do it all the time, but I enjoy the versatility. I enjoy the creativity of Kellen Moore's offense. Now, I am hoping for the Eagles to win the NFC East, that we just cooked the Cowboys in both games. And honestly, the Commanders as well. I hope we can really expose the Commanders and their strength of schedule, because they haven't had a tough schedule this year. The Giants, I'm not worried about them ever. They're a train wreck. They're a train wreck. I'm never worried about the Giants. Like, they've been a train wreck for years. That organization is sad and they need to get it together. New York, your football teams are, excuse my French, they're ass. But I say all that to say, if the Eagles don't dominate their own division, we're not going to do well in the playoffs. But anyway, next week we play the Jaguars at home. I will be there turning up, having a good time. But it'll be the matchup against Doug Peterson. This should be a game that we have in the bag, but we can't underestimate going in. We cannot underestimate a team. We know what happens when we underestimate teams. Last year when we lost to the Jets. Eagles, stay on track, stay focused, stay locked in. Don't forget, you should probably try out this Mural City Cellars Rosé. This is lit to just drink and chill with your friends. Honestly, why are you watching the game? Next week, grab yourself a Mural City Rosé and watch the game. I'm telling you, it'll go well with your wings. Grab you some hoagies. Hit up Uncle Oogie's. Grab a hoagie and watch the game at home. Chilling. Yo, I can't keep giving y'all all the secrets. Like I'm giving y'all too much. But anyway, thank you for checking me out. I'm so glad to be back. I'm so glad that I've had the time to do this. But until next time, I'll see y'all. Peace.